And good morning. Welcome back to Mr. Brandy's class. And today we're going to learn about something.
Excellent. Let's learn about something. I love it. Let's do it. It is good morning. Yes, I was right.
Do we have another packet?
Of course. All right. Yes, somewhere over there you'll find it, chapter 13. Okay, so let's do this one together. The whole page. Write out everything. Post this on YouTube as well. So that way if you need to look at it, you can. All right, so take 30 seconds to read this little paragraph about what's going on in this scenario.
Oh, yeah.
To yourself. Hey, don't be mean to the dogs. It's usually not the dog's fault. The owners will overfeed them.
I try to give my dog's a little bit, but I try to give her like less.
Yeah.
But like she's still the same.
She's still the same.
I take her for a walk every day.
Well, you do what you can. My daughter gives our dog food because she thinks it's fun. So, it is what it is. She hands in, she goes, ha ha ha.
It'd be like that.
Yeah. All right, so the plan here is I want to do number 1, A through E, because on the test on Wednesday of next week, you'll have to do this, okay? And then I'd like to write some sentences for number 2 on how to design an appropriate experiment to actually see if either of these ideas for having a plan for a diet, so change the way they eat, as well as exercise, see if that will actually produce weight loss results, okay? All right, so let's start with the first one. Identify the following. The subjects. Pablo, who are the subjects? Not pets, the dogs, right? Specifically, only dogs. The overweight dogs. Sound good. Overweight dogs. You can write chubby dogs, but that's just me.
Chubby bunny.
Was there a question, Natalie? Hold on. Question. Natalie has a question. Oh, never mind. Just kidding.
It's like, so remember how we said like yesterday how like the blocking they were like cancel that's great. And then like it was just like people, but then for this experiment, we have to regular and then
Good. Okay. Natalie had a really good question. Shh. Her brain is already getting ahead of herself, which is good. Don't apologize. She's trying to figure out what's going to be the best way to run this experiment. So her question was about, do we need to make sure we block, nice word, by whether they're chubby or overweight or not? And what we're saying here is that every single dog in our experiment is going to be an overweight dog. All right? There's no use in doing this on regular dogs if we're not worried about that. Now, we could talk about getting some dogs that are as a control group, whether that's using dogs that are not overweight or that's doing something with the other, or like a third group. Okay? Because the idea is, what are they doing currently? That's what I'd like to know about these dogs. How are they being fed and how many walks are they going on currently? That will help like a baseline. Yes, Diana.
Do like bulimic dogs?
Anemic dogs?
Yeah,
You mean bulimic or anemic? Because those are different things.
bulimic. I got
Like too thin, like when you see a dog on the street that hasn't eaten in a while. Yeah. I don't think they're talking about that, but yeah, we could look at that as well. That's a different animal, pun intended, because when you're thinking about that, you need to actually introduce food slowly. Otherwise, the dog can become sick. Right? You guys have studied the Holocaust?
Yeah.
Yeah? Like when they tried to feed the people that were in prison there? All right? They had to feed them slowly to work up their stomachs to what they used to be able to eat. All right? If you feed them too much, they'll actually become more sick. I'm not sure about that. I'm not a doctor. But again, I just know there was a problem with feeding too quickly. So they actually had to tell the people feeding them to stop feeding them because it was going to be bad, which was terrible. Okay. The factors. What are the factors? What are the factors? You have to do this on Wednesday. Diet, and exercise. Diet and exercise. So the factors are diet and exercise. Now, how many levels are associated with each factor? How many levels are associated with each factor? The answer is 2. So what are our different levels for diet? Very good. A and B. And what about for exercise? Very good. 1, bless you, and 2. So the idea here is we have 2 different factors, and each factor has 2 levels. So when I think about this, I ask myself, how many factors? 2. How many levels for each factor? 2. 2 times 2 is 4. So that's how many treatments we should have. Very good. So what are the 4 treatments? Because it's 4 treatments. What are the 4? We have diet A with, diet A with 1, A with 2, B with 1, and B with 2. That's 4. All right, that's 4. Yes, just said that. Every time. All right? Every time, if you get the number of factors times the number of levels for each, you will multiply and get the number of treatments. Every time. Very good. Next. Okay. The next question says, is the experiment blind?
What does blind mean?
Can anyone explain what blind means? We talk about an experiment for Diana. Who said that? Gilberto, yes. When nobody knows, that would be what kind of blinding? If nobody knows. Double blind. Very good. The subjects and the people treating the subjects don't know. Okay? Somebody has to know, right? The person evaluating the results has to know. But Diana, the idea is if you blind it, that means you're trying to reduce bias from people knowing what treatment they're receiving or the people giving the treatment. Well, is it double blind? Can this be double blind? The dogs know? Do we know that the dogs know? We don't. So, unfortunately, we can't say anything about the dogs, even if we think, I bet they know. Okay? But what about the owners? The owners know, right? Because look at this. Does the owner know what type of diet they're getting? Yeah, they're feeding them that food. And does the owner know what exercise plan they're on? Yes, they're taking them on those walks. So at best, it can only be single blind. The only way it could be single blind is if the evaluators, all right, the people measuring the weight of the dogs, if they don't know what treatment they got. So it doesn't say in this problem whether they do it for a month or 2 months or 6 months. But at some point, they're going to have to go get measured in terms of their weight. And the people who measure them, the vets they go to, we hope that those vets don't know what treatment they got. If that's true, then it's single blind. Everybody good? All right, we want the vet not to know. Natalie and Giuseppe.
And then on the test, if we don't put single, are you going to take points off?
I mean, technically, I would like to see single blind. Because if you put blind, how do I know you didn't mean double blind?
Yeah.
Okay? Giuseppe. Well, yeah, because if you tell me what food to give my dog, I probably know which one I'm getting. Yes, they might not know what the other people are getting, but they still know what they're getting. My dogs, yeah, as long as they know.
Double-blinded is remember they know and then.
If somehow we could make the owners not know, like maybe someone else comes into the house to feed them and walk them. If the owners didn't know, it'd be double blind. But I think the owners are going to know. Pablo. Like, do you remember we talked yesterday about, oh, you weren't here, sorry. We talked yesterday about a clinical drug trial. And if the patients receiving the drug don't know what they're getting, the real drug, the fake drug, their current drug, as well as the people treating them, like the doctors and nurses treating them, and if they don't know, then it's double blind. Well, the evaluators, the people running the trial, will have to know. No, they don't know. They don't have to know. Do they? Do they have to know? No, they don't have to know. They could say, Pablo's here to be treated for this. You're going to give him this medicine. Well, it's a clinical trial. You signed up for this. Should have read the paperwork, Pablo. All right. You were happy to cash that check, but you didn't read that paperwork. All right. So the last thing. I'm sorry, Bashir. My fault. But the vet doesn't have to know. Whenever the dogs come in to get measured after 3 months, 6 months, a year of this, right? The vet, whoever's measuring them, doesn't have to know. Like, you don't have to ask the owner, hey, what one were you on? Were you on Diet A with Plan 1? They don't have to ask that.
They just want the weight home.
Yeah, and then someone knows. The evaluators know. The people running it know. Okay. What about the response variable? Yes, Charlie. The weight loss. Very good. Okay, so any other questions about number 1, all those parts? Yeah, Pablo.
Yeah.
So it's whatever they're measuring. So the whole point of this trial and this experiment is to see if, with the combination of a new diet and new exercise, can the dogs lose weight? So what you could have write weight loss or weight. What are you measuring? You care about the weight. What's their starting weight and what's their ending weight? What's that difference? That would be the weight loss. Hopefully loss. If they're overweight, we don't want to get higher. Well, that would be an issue, right? If they gain weight, then we would want to know what else happened. Maybe they had a child who was sneaking food to the dog that we didn't know about, right? It happens. Yes, like my children. Oh, everything. Yeah.
I wanted the answer for
C. So the number of treatments is 4. That is the answer. And then I listed the 4 treatments.
that probability, right? You have to list them?
Yes, please list all the treatments.
It's like probability.
No, it's not probability. It's just what are you assigning the dogs? Each dog is going to be in one of these 4 treatments. And I don't want you to think treatment doesn't always have to be healthy, right? In this case, it is making them more healthy, but it doesn't always need to be a health thing. All right, are you guys ready to try to design the experiment?
No.
Uh-oh.
No? We need some sentences. Like if dogs just came in to help us? Yeah, not happening. That's okay. Let's go to number 2. All right, be ready to write. We ready to write? Let's write. Weight loss, Bashir. Weight loss. What should we write first?
Well, the overweight dog. I don't know.
Okay, yeah, it was a good start. Yes, Charlotte, what do you want to write?
Order for the dogs to lose weight in this level.
Okay, could we change the blah, blah, blah to something else? Say it again. All the dogs are following Diet A and Plan 1?
Some dogs will follow Diet A.
We have to randomize.
Oh, randomize. Whoa, what a word. How many dogs do we have?
We don't know.
It said at the top.
60 dogs on it.
60 dogs. All right. 60 overweight dogs. How would you like to randomize?
30 and 30. No, wait.
30 and 30? Ah, there Pablo's brain sees we have 4 treatments. So how many should be in each treatment?
The dog will fix.
15.
The dog will fix.
True, we're going to make this nice and easy for ourselves, Lily. Each dog owner has 1 dog. All right, but you're right, they could have more than 1.
60 divided by 4.
Is 15 dogs. So we need to randomly assign 15 dogs to what?
To each diet.
To each treatment. Okay, so we've randomly assigned these 60 dogs to a treatment. So that's like diet A with plan 1, diet A with plan 2, diet B with plan 1, diet B with plan 2. What do we do next?
We need to see which ones.
Yes, we do. And even before that, we need to let the dog owners do what?
No.
No, I don't want them to know. I mean, they're going to know. But like, what do I want them to do? I want them to do it, right? Let the dog owners feed their dog the new diet and let the dog get the new exercise. How long do you want them to do it?
A month.
A month? Only a month?
No, like
I feel like we need at least 3 months. Can we go 6 months? Let's go 6 months. Long haul. The new exercise for 6 months.
Wow.
Now, once the 6 months is done, Shyla, then we're ready for what?
See which ones actually more.
After the 6 months, the dogs need to see a vet to get weighed. Oh man, who are they sacrificing? Hopefully not Mr. Mendez. Is there a question, Heidi? Say it again. Oh, okay. It could be 3 months, a month. I'm not that worried about it. Just some time. Yeah.
Do we always have to divide, like assign dogs?
Well, in this case, we divide it and put them evenly into those 4 groups.
So 15 dogs will get A and 1, and then
15 for A and 2, 15 for B and 1. 60 dogs total. So 15 in each.
Monday.
So if there were like 70 dogs and like 5.
Then you would do your best to make it even. Which 70 does divide by 5, doesn't it? Yeah.
Okay.
The problems that I give you, they'll be even. Okay? Now, the last statement I'm going to write is, what are they measuring? All right? The vet should record the amount of weight loss. All right, I feel good about this. I feel good about this plan. But when I think about, yeah, sorry, Diana.
Oh, sorry, but wouldn't it be biased to say the weight loss because what if they gain weight?
Well, it'd be, if they gain weight, it'd be negative weight loss. The number would be negative. Gotcha. Yeah.
So, are all the dogs around the same weight when they first?
Yeah. So I don't know, right, Tyree? Maybe all the dogs are, because when I think about my dog, and you guys think about your dog, because some of you guys have dogs, do we have the same kind of dogs? No. What if these are small, medium, and large dogs? Or all large dogs? Or all small dogs? Or no one said it yet, but what if they're not the same breed? Different breeds had different ideal weights. So no one mentioned anything. Yeah, I don't know about the male-female as well. But we probably, if we wanted to do this for real, we probably would need to block based on breed or size of dog, if we were going to do this for real. Right? This is good enough for our purposes, but if I was going to do this and really want to see if the results happen, I'd want to separate my dogs first by size and breed. Exactly. Usually based on how big and small they are or their breed. So just something to think about when you're doing this. This would be totally fine, but when you think about the breed and the size of the dog, those could be confounding variables. Remember that word we talked about yesterday? Confounding, where that causes an issue with separating out your results. Are your results from diet and exercise? Or as Tyrese said, are the results more from the fact that the big dogs can lose weight faster, or this breed can lose weight faster? Okay? So we probably would need to block based on those two characteristics, breed and size, if we were doing this for real. Just a good conversation about this. Are you tweeting about it, Pablo?
I'm just looking at a picture of it all the way down.
Oh, that's nice. What kind of dog is it? Is it a dachshund? Is Lexi's dog?
My dogs are.
But not like she's